you're not a man. You're not a man. That's what people tell me, that I'm not a man. That I'm not a man because I'm 5 feet tall. That I'm not a man because I'm not as strong as other men. That I'm not a man because I'm missing that piece between my legs, that epitome of manliness. And that I'm not a man because no matter how hard I try and hide, you can still tell that I've got breasts. So yeah, I'm not a man. You were supposed to be different. You were supposed to see me for who I am, but, you know, you still say that I'm not a man because when I was born, the doctors looked between my legs and they labeled me girl. You say that I'm your daughter. You don't believe that I'm your son. You correct people when they call me he. And you say that you know better than me because you changed me as a baby. I just want you to believe who I am. I want you in my life. I want you to love me as your son, but every day I wake up and you don't realize how hard it is to wonder if I'm crazy or if the world is or why nobody's telling me the same thing. I just want you to believe what I'm telling you, and every single day I wake up and I hope that that will be true. And I walk downstairs in a carefully prepared outfit to show you what I am inside, to prove to you that I'm not pretending that this is the way that I want to present myself, but every single day you stop and you look me in the eye and you say, you're not a man, Katie, and you never will be.
In performance piece, structurally, this is a 3-act play. And my problem is that Act 1 is anger.
Okay, so you want to see a shift.
And I need a shift, right? I never want to see something, you get very intensely emotional in the middle, and I thought it was going to go to tears at one point. It came close for you, I know. Here's the problem, and this is a rule of mine, and that is anger is not a truthful emotion. Anger is a result of a greater hurt or loss. And the way to get an audience attracted to your character is to play your pain first, and then the anger. And the language supports that structure, right? Because when this turns to first person, when you're confronting your parent, there's
should be the shift.
Should be the shift, and you don't give yourself a place to come from.
Yeah.
So therefore, the scene doesn't have
an
arc. It has this intense emotion from beginning to end, and it's kind of a smack in the face, right? And I want to become more intimately involved in your character's journey and to understand where all this emotion comes from, right? So if this began, you could even use nervous laughter to begin, you know, and add those question marks.
Yeah.
And then it falls to that deeper sorrow and then anger. And there's a wonderful structure that supports the relationship that is underlying the scene.
Makes sense, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But it's like, always remember about anger, right? We see these guys on the street, on Yonge Street, you know, barking at the moon. You know, they're homeless, they're eating sterno, you know, and they're crazy. And we cross the street to avoid them.
Yeah.
And then you see the shaky lady at the corner of Bay and Bloor who just sits down and shakes and cries, and people give her $2,000 a day. They cross the street to find her. Because we innately, as human beings, empathize with people's pain.
Drawn to vulnerability.
Absolutely. Okay.
You know, my 2 notes right away were timing and dynamic. And yeah, it's a really nice, important little piece you've written. Perfect for you. Yeah, exactly that. The arc, like, started like you engaged me right away, but you kept hitting the same note the whole time. Yeah, everything that Ron said is exactly how I felt about it too.
People have said before, I often start out fast, especially when I'm nervous, that I talk.
Yeah, then find a way to counteract it and start out slow and take me on your journey. Like, I instantly connected with you and stayed with you. I loved when you shook like that. You truly were shaking, your little shirt was shaking, it
Yeah.
was, you know, and so know that about yourself and really develop that, you know, because that's where you're building the power of it. And I'm following your story. You and me are, you're
Just wanna
telling
be
me the
taken on a
story,
journey with it.
and I'm hooked into it, and but if it's hitting all the same note, it's like music. If it keeps going back down to do every time, do, you know, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, di, do, then
Yeah, you want crescendo and decrescendo.
I do, yeah, in every aspect of it, and it was perfectly written, like it's a really nicely written little piece. So I think you can just up it 100% by sinking into it a little bit more.
Yeah.
It is your story.
Just to add an acting note onto that, by beginning in anger and ending in anger, it becomes indication, which is anathema to acting. You know, we never want to indicate, we never want to tell the audience the ending before we begin.
Yeah, you
Right.
want people to be surprised when it falls into the anger.
Precisely. So
Yeah.
what is your moment before? Right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I think one of the strongest notes an actor can keep in their tickle bag is how nervous we get as human beings when we're about to confront circumstances, and that often turns into awkward, nervous laughter.
Yeah.
And the real emotion is hiding right behind the eyes, but the presentation gives you the value of humor, but doesn't undercut at all the strength of the commitment that you've made or the issues that you're dealing with. But it gives us this wonderful place to begin and misdirects us for what we're going to see. You know, you think of certain actors, you think of like Goldie Hawn or Melanie Griffith or Woody Allen, who nervous laughter is their playbook.
Right, yeah.
And yet they've all broken our hearts by then revealing what they're really, the emotion that they're hiding from.